Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's session of 10 strategic solutions to everyday business problems. This is day 5 of my lives regarding this topic. And today we're going to be looking at this problem where all your eggs are in one basket, or at least 80% of your eggs are in one basket. And this actually happens more than you would imagine. And it's a high risk scenario for a business. So, yeah, let's get straight into it. But just before we do, a reminder of my free ebook and mini course, 3 Strategic Steps to Business Success, where you can quickly learn the 3 most important strategic steps you need to take in order to achieve business success. You can work through it. You can join our Slack community and ask questions, get support, get engagement from other entrepreneurs, strategists like myself. It's a growing Slack community. So, yeah, pull in. All are welcome. It's totally free. So, yeah, pull in. Okay, let's get into this reality. Too many eggs in one basket. Most of our income is coming from one client. If we lose that client, we will be in serious trouble. So many service businesses can't get into this place where if they lose that one client, they are going to be in serious trouble. In fact, they'll have to close their doors because, yeah, they just won't have the income to sustain their infrastructure. Now, the wrong solution to this is the following, where you think, okay, we need to make ourselves so valuable to this client, to our existing client, that they will never, ever consider leaving us. So in other words, we're just going to do more for them, go above and beyond what they actually ask us to do. That's actually, yeah, that's a kind of a codependent scenario, and that wouldn't be helpful. The right solution, of course, is to clone your clients by offering exactly the same offering to other clients that look very similar to this one that you are already serving successfully. And then to diversify your offering by creating new products and services for other segments in your market. And I'm going to actually share with you a cool model that you can use to help you think through this problem and to help you come up with ways to solve this problem. But that's a little bit later. So let me first kind of unpack the problem a little bit more. And that is where service-based businesses get into this place where most of the income comes from one place. And it's usually a very large client that you've been serving for many years, and which trusts you, or you're a trusted partner of that large business. Okay. But of course, this is very high risk. It's a very high risk place to be in, because if you lose that client, you basically need to close your doors. I actually witnessed this. I witnessed this 20 years ago, where I was part of a highly profitable marketing. I was an employee in a highly profitable, successful marketing business that had been in business for 20 years. And they lost their biggest client and they closed overnight. 20, 30 people lost their jobs. It was terrible. And, the owners knew that if this would happen, they would be in trouble. But they did. I mean, they tried to do something about it, but they didn't do enough. And, they had to close their doors. So this is a real problem, and it has real consequences for businesses. It has real serious consequences for businesses and for employees. So why does this happen? How do businesses, service-based, usually get into this situation? Well, because it takes so much time and energy and resources to serve that one client. Okay, there's little really left over to serve the other clients. It takes so much of your time, your energy, your staff, your infrastructure, your mental capacity just to serve that one client that, when you're done serving that client, there's almost no energy, time or resources left to even think about serving the needs of other clients. Also, because they give you so much money, right? Because it's 80% of your business. You focus on their needs first and foremost, above all other even smaller clients. And I think my internet's struggling a bit. Right, because they give you so much money, you kind of just focus on them the whole time, serving their needs, serving their needs. You don't even think about your own or anyone else's need. Let me just see if I can fix my internet. Give me 1 second. Okay, I think I'm back now. And I think the internet should be a bit better connection. Okay, so, right. So because there's this very good relationship between you and this client, things are smooth, things are nice. They just work well between you and the client, causing you to kind of have less stress overall as a business. And obviously getting new smaller clients is hard work, and you feel like it's gonna be unnecessarily stressful, and therefore you don't deem it worth it. So you kind of like are relaxed as a business. You've got this big client, they pay you every month. You don't have to spend a lot of extra time and effort trying to find more clients, because they satisfy all your needs as a business and as a business owner. You can pay your staff. There's enough money for pretty much everything. So those are the three things that usually cause this problem to come about. And I've seen it firsthand, right? Okay, so what's really happening here? Let's talk about what's actually going on. And that is that if you're in this situation, you're actually not running a business yet. You're not running a business. What you're doing is you're actually an outsourced department of that company for whichever service you're offering. Let's say it's marketing services. You're just the outsourced department, because they're your client, or they're your employer, and you're their department. That's really what's going on. You're not really yet running a business, because a business has multiple clients usually, right? And a successful, stable business has multiple clients, not just one big client. So in many ways, they are your boss, and you are their marketing. In this case, we'll say you're their marketing department. But it just so happens that you're the one, all the staff in your department are not employed by them as a company. You're the one employing all the staff, which means that you carry all the risk, and they enjoy all the benefits of having this devoted department working for them, and they don't have to pay benefits. They don't have to deal with human capital regulations. It's nice for them. So it's great for them, but it's not great for you, because you're the one carrying all the risk for that department, right? So the inevitable day of demise. One day, what's going to happen is the people that you've got a good relationship with, that you've had a good relationship with over the years, 20 years, will retire or move on to another company, and their replacements are going to put your contract up for tendering, right? They're going to say, well, we want some fresh blood, fresh meat. We want a fresh company to work with. We want you to tender. And now you're going to have to pitch to continue to do the work that you've been faithfully doing for years for them, okay? Because those new people that are, your new bosses or new clients, they don't know you. They don't have a good relationship with you, so they don't care. They can just fire you and employ a new agency. They may choose to go with you again, or they may not. So there's no guarantee. And if they don't, you'll probably need to close your doors because your department has now been fired and replaced with a new agency. And because you weren't functioning as a business, right, you were functioning as their outsourced department, you don't have any other clients and any other income that can sustain your business. Okay, so that's where the scenario where all your eggs are in one basket. And when that basket falls, so does all the eggs. All the eggs are going to break. So what do you need? You obviously need to have more than one basket where you can store your eggs. Okay. And that's where Ansoff's matrix, also called the opportunity utilization strategies, really helps a lot from a strategic perspective. And it's a very simple framework. And the way it works is as follows. At the top here, there's basically 2 columns and 2 rows. And in the first column, you look at your existing products. In the second column, you'll look at any new products that you could maybe develop. In the first row, you look at your existing markets. Those are your existing clients or target markets. And then, of course, in the second row, you look at your new markets. And when you bring these together, they form this nice framework where if I look at how I can sell more of my existing products to my existing target audience, that's called market penetration. We're going deeper into our market, selling more of our existing products to more customers in that market. Then we move on, and you'll notice these little arrows here saying increasing risk. It's more risk. It's riskier as a business to try to create new products to sell or to try to venture into new markets because you haven't done it before and you don't know what it's going to take to be successful. So you're going to invest a lot of money to create the infrastructure and the products needed to do these, but you're not sure. So these are higher risk, and this one is the greatest risk. And this is where you create a completely new product for a completely new market. So in this case, it's a bit less risky over here because you're creating a new product for your existing customer base or your existing market. And yet it's a little bit less risky because you're selling your existing product to a new group of customers. So let me show you an example. So there's a software company that sells student payment systems to universities. Okay, and this is where students can use their student cards to basically pay for anything on campus and not have to use credit cards or cash or anything like that. It keeps the campus safe, and it just ensures that the university can facilitate effective money management on campus. So a good idea for this company would be if they had one big client. Let's say 80% of their money came from one big client, one big university. What would be the best thing to do to penetrate their market? They've got all the infrastructure to serve that university. They've got people, they've got systems. Everything is geared towards serving the needs of a university. So what's the best next step if they want to extend their eggs into new baskets? Who can tell me? Any ideas? I'm sure you can think of it. You can just post something in the comments if you want to answer. It is, of course, to take that system and go to another university and say, University B, this is our system. It's working well at University A. We've got all the infrastructure in place. How about we set it up here at your university? And then when they say yes, you just maybe employ a few more people and you train them in what you're already doing for the first university, and you set up shop at the second university. And you could do that, right? You can penetrate your market until you've gone to all the universities in your country. Okay? And that would then be an effective way to penetrate your market. And realistically, that would be the furthest that you can grow, or the most that you can grow in that market is once you've gone to all the universities and pitched your system to them, and they've either said yes or no, or we use someone else. Okay, so once you've done that and you've set up shop at as many universities as you can, if you then want to grow further to mitigate your risk even further, then you would begin to look at things like product development. Okay, what other systems? So now we've got all these universities as clients. So the easiest one actually is to do product development. That's actually the easiest one to do next. Now what we do is we go to the university and say, what else? What other systems do they need? Well, actually, you know what? They need to be able to effectively regulate access control. So the students coming in and out of the universities. Okay, let's build an access control system for all of our university clients. We say, listen, we'll integrate it with our existing payment system. They'll use the same student card. Beautiful. The universities will say, that's fantastic. Now we don't have to have multiple systems, a payment system and an access control system, and we have to deal with all these multiple people. We just have one system and we deal with you. So that makes complete sense and should be quite easy for this company to develop that product and bring it into that existing market. Then the next one would be market development. And that's where the university says, well, the company, there's two options actually. They say, let's take our existing system and we take it to another country and we begin to implement it there. We begin to implement it in another country. Okay. And we set up shop there and we show them, look how well it's doing in this first country. We can do the same here. That is a little bit more challenging, though, to take your existing business model and take it to another country, because there's different regulations in every country, especially a payment-related operation like this. So that's the one way. You can take it to another country. Then you don't have to develop anything new really, or you don't have to really customize it that much. The other option is to think, which other types of organizations need their users to be able to pay easily? Well, hospital facilities, medical facilities, those that look after the elderly, they also actually have got lots of users that they need to serve. And it's also not very safe to have cash, to deal with a lot of cash in those environments. So why don't we also take those areas cashless and we go to the medical facilities and we say to them, hey, we've got the system that's working really well at the university. We've customized it for patient care and for medical facilities. Let's offer it there. And so they can then think through, well, who are the other markets that also need cashless payment facilities, and then begin to offer it to them. And that way they can then grow, right? And extend their eggs into even more baskets with limited risk. Okay, and then the final one is diversification. And that's where you create a completely new product in a completely new market. And usually what's going to happen is you're going to take capital that you've extra capital that you're earning in these spaces, and you're going to develop something completely unique and new, because you've maybe recognized, because of the work that you've been doing in these markets and with these products, you've recognized some gaps in the market, in other markets at least. And with your existing infrastructure and your existing knowledge, you can create unique new products for unique new markets. So I wrote here marketing agency, because you could actually create a marketing agency to serve the needs of many of these types, let's call them education and medical facility related customers. You could create a market, because you now understand their business. You could create a marketing agency for them. You could even go completely way out, and you could create like food products, for example, because you now also have noticed these facilities don't have effective food products. So let's create food products. So you would basically, but okay, this is now much higher risk, because it's a space that you're not really familiar with. It's a product that you're not familiar with, or it's a market that you're not entirely familiar with. And so it becomes a little bit more challenging, a lot more risk, a lot more investment, lots more time. But it's a great way to mitigate your risk even further and start to get involved in other things that you are maybe interested in as a business or as an entrepreneur. So that is the way to solve this problem. this where 80% of your business comes from one client. You start with cloning your clients by taking your existing service and just packaging it effectively and doing this marketing and sales exercise where you systematize your service and you just take it to other universities, in this case, other similar clients. Then the very next step is to, after you've penetrated your entire market, is to create new products for your existing customers because they already trust you, so you can easily just produce new products for them. And then after that, to go to new markets where you go and say, hey, we're doing this for the education space. Why can't we just do it for you as well? And then finally, you create all kinds of new innovative products and services in new markets based on what you've learned in these existing markets, and you do some new cool things. Okay, so that's how you extend your eggs into multiple baskets. And yeah, these are the 4 things that you would think through. Firstly, how can we penetrate our existing market effectively? Don't try and do product development first. Don't try and do market development first if your existing market hasn't been fully tapped out, because it's much higher risk. It takes more time and more capital and more input. So it's better to start first, at your little gold mine, if I can call it that. You've got a gold mine, but you haven't pulled out all the gold yet. First, get all the gold out. Then you can go and set up a new mine, right, somewhere else. So after you've got all the gold, you keep some of that gold and you use it to invest in product development and market development, and finally into diversification. So that is the best approach. And I've actually had conversations with entrepreneurs, right, who are running small businesses, and they're so creative and they're so excited that they're doing a bit of this, and then they're like, oh, I want to do a bit of that, bit of product development. Oh, I want to do a bit of, I want to also do that in that market. I want to actually do this. So they what ends up happening is they're involved here, and here, all at the same time, and none of them are making money. I've seen it happening. And usually I say to them, listen, you're not actually running a business right here. This is just a creative outlet for you now. You're just experimenting. You're not really running a business yet. And you're actually wasting you're not wasting, but you're taking a lot of your time and your money to do all this experimentation. It's nice and all, but at some point you're going to have to choose one market, one product that you focus on, and you build a business around it. If you actually want to be an entrepreneur and you actually want a sustainable business, you got to start with that. It seems boring, it's not creative, but it's strategic and it's successful. It's usually it's that strategic, repetitive stuff that causes success in the long term, not the creative, flaring, try a bit of this, try a bit of that. That doesn't actually contribute to success. Once you're successful, if most of your energy is being spent into penetrating markets, sure, you can spend 10 or 20% of your resources and your time developing new products and markets, right? But most of your time and energy is being spent in making sure that this one is successful. So anyways, when I usually say this to people, to small entrepreneurs and small business owners, listen, you're not running a business yet. This is just a creative outlet. You need to focus here. You need to mine all the gold that you can here using proper strategic business and marketing. Then they're usually like, yeah, that's not going to be so fun. And so, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you really have to understand strategy. You have to understand how these things work. And you got to just do them. You got to do them. You got to do them consistently, and you got to do them well. And that will cause you to have the resources that you do need to experiment further. So I hope that's helpful. If you are an entrepreneur and you are struggling with this problem, please follow this strategic advice. It works. It works for big companies. It works for small companies. It works for entrepreneurs. It works for everyone. So that's that. And this is brought to you by Stratton, Stratton.io. which is an online business growth community that I've started, where I'm teaching and you're learning practical business strategy in a supportive online community. There's so many great strategic resources. There's books, there's YouTube videos, there's podcasts. But the problem is, you can watch them and listen to them, but who's going to help you implement them in your business? Who can you ask questions to? You can't ask the author questions. In this community, we're pushing for a space where entrepreneurs support one another. There's strategists that can also support you with advice. There's proper courses that you can take that kind of give you a structured approach to building your business based on where you're at. And then we have want to start having, or going to start having, live weekly Zoom calls where we come together as a group. We look at problems that you're facing, and we support one another in a kind of a live context. This is the beginning, foundational part of this community. It's going to grow with other cool features in the end, and we're totally open to everyone contributing and bringing their own ideas to this community in order to make it something that is a shared and collaborative community of strategic entrepreneurs. That's where the name comes from, Stratton, strategic entrepreneurs that are using strategy to build successful businesses. So go and check it out, stratton.io, totally free to join. And it's been great being with you guys on this live. I hope you've appreciated and gained something from today's session. Okay, cool. Check you guys on the flip side. Have a good weekend.